What's up, Dragon Brood? Now, I gotta say, I'm starting to get a little color in the background and get some stuff done up, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Still gonna be a few days, so I got my lighting and stuff set up, and I don't know. Maybe I'll run some little string lights or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm gonna try to make the new digs nice for you when we get there. But for now, today, right now, we're gonna talk about a mono red deck. We're gonna call it Mono Red Midrange, kinda. But either way, the idea comes from another creator, JRR2. If you don't know who that is, you should follow him over on Twitter and Twitch, where he streams multiple nights a week. Very cool creative deck builder. And this one's a lot of fun. It plays some cards you don't normally get to play with. Obviously, you're going to see here that we do have Brash Taunter, which I know people love. So that's going to really just be exciting to play with anyway. So lots of cool stuff going on with this list. But let's just go get into it. All right, going from the top, we have 4 Frostbite. It's kind of like the best removal right now for 1 red if you're going to go with it. Doesn't hit the opponent, but it gets rid of so many early creatures. Couple of shocks just for filling out that 1 mana slot. We have 2 Scorching Dragonfires, 2 Burji, God of Storytelling. And I want to say here, there's actually times where you want both sides, honestly. Like if you get later in the game and you've built up your mana, or maybe you already have a Burji out and you draw the second one, you want to use the Horn. But there's going to be sometimes you just want to play Burji as a 3/3 and fight with it. And sometimes just, give you a chance to play 2-3 spells in a turn while you're still emptying what's already in your hand. So not sure which is better. I think you're going to see a little bit of both probably. Then Bonecrusher Giant, we've said all we can say about this card at this point. Crush the Weak. This is actually not a bad card right now. There's a lot of like mono red aggro, mono white. The Selesnya or Naya lists that have the, all the 1/1s and the the Clarion Spirit, all that going on. So this fits really well for that. Also, it has the other option or thing to remember that whenever you deal damage to a creature, it exiles it from this card. So it's a way to get rid of those problematic cards that may come back from the yard against like Rakdos or something like that. So gives you a few other opportunities to get rid of some really problematic creatures in addition to being a sweeper. The fact that it foretells is nice, but not all that handy, but not bad. It's a neat inclusion for the deck. Slaying Fire. This is one of the ways we want to try to go to the dome when we can, but it does remove some big sizable creatures. Soulseer, obviously, just big removal card. 4 Tectonic Giants. Really like this card. You're almost always going to get something out of it when your opponent plays removal. So that's good, and it really can help you find cards that you're looking for. 3 Brash Taunters, like I mentioned there in the opener. This card is always popular. People are always looking to play more of it. So love this card in here, and it makes a lot of sense. 3 Ox of Agonis. This is a way, again, just fill your hand. It's good against rogues. It really just does a lot of things. I think if you haven't tried Brash Taunter at this point, you're sort of missing out. Then lands are real simple. We're doing 21 snow-covered mountains, 1 animal sanctuary, 3 Faceless Haven. I have to admit, I don't know if you really need the animal sanctuary, but it's not bad. It's all right. I think we could debate whether this should be this or the other one that if you have a creature power 4 or greater, you get to draw a card because you do have Bonecrusher Giants. A lot of times you're going to have these Oxes. They're going to be 4 or 5 power, so that could get you extra cards. I mean, you can pump an Ox with this, but I think that's the only thing we can really pump on the list. It does have a sideboard as well. As usual, you'll be able to get the description, the deck list in the description if you want to check that out and play best of 3. Now, JRR2 did design this as a best of 3 deck. I am going to be playing this best of 1 just so we can get through more games in a short window of time so you can at least see 4 or 5 different matchups. That being said, let's go see those matchups over in the arena. Okay, I can't think of a reason that we would want to get rid of this. We're just going to keep it. Would like an additional land to be able to use this effectively, but I think that's okay. And we still can shock something, stomp something, play Bonecrusher Giant, have a Faceless Haven ready to go, maybe if we draw the 3rd Snowland. So, seems fine. I was playing Luris. So there's a chance we're going to get to pick off a few things, but we'll see. All right, not overly surprising. We'll just pass. I was thinking there was a chance they could have had a Soaring Thought, a Thieves Guild Enforcer there, but since they didn't, I'm kind of confused. I think we're just going to pass. I'm going to take it easy here. They're obviously playing some spot removal and whatnot. They know we have some. There is a Ruin Crab, which we can kill. Let's go ahead and just Slaying Fire that. I think is the most efficient way for us to kill that. So they are actually playing rogues here. That is good to know. Alright, so we're just going to have to be kind of slow and selective about what we're going to do here. They're obviously probably sitting on hand with removal and counters, since they're not playing creatures. And we have to just know that. Okay, they get a Wind Robber, sure. I mean, we only have one card in our yard. Alright, they put Lurrus in hand. Let's go ahead and stomp this. Mostly because next turn we could play Bone Crusher and still do whatever we want. Ooh, Burgi is kind of nice, though, if they're dedicated to playing Lurrus. I wouldn't hate that. So if we just cast Burgi straight up. I mean, we could also just play the Horn, too. But I'm not sure the Horn is where we want to be here. So I think we're just going to go with this. Because worst case scenario, they play Lurrus, they put either the Wind Robber or the Ruin Crab back in play, probably the Ruin Crab. We just shoot Lurrus, then we kill the Ruin Crab the next turn, I guess. I guess it's not going to be their plan, because if they were going to do that, they would have... Okay, I was going to say they would have played Ruin Crab first, and then played their island? Okay, they just messed up is all. Okay, what do we want to do here? Ruin Crab is annoying, and we can kill it. Or we could play Tectonic Giant. Then we wouldn't be able to cast anything else. We could Burgi and do nothing. So we pretty much get one spell. What's it gonna be? I think this is what we do. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna go with this. Mostly because if they target either of these creatures, I'll get something out of the deal. I won't just be giving something up for nothing. Alright, 5 cards in yard. I mean, we still have Burn in hand. Like, there's some things still going on here. I assume they have at least one kill spell. And probably a counter as well. Which would make a lot of sense. Alright, so if I tap 1, 2, 3... No, this will leave us 2 red. We could... Well, we already played a lands. Okay, let's do it anyway. I mean, we have instant speed removal. They may have counters, but whatever. Okay, you have a Thought Thief. Sure. It doesn't change anything for us here. Have a second Thought Thief, yes. I agree with these facts. Do we just deal 3 damage here? I think we do. Yeah. And just say, hey, like, if you don't block here, this is lethal. I mean, they don't know it's lethal. Obviously, we're showing 11, but we have 15. I might just Soul Seer or Ruin Crab. Though, if they have an Agadeem's Awakening, they would be able to Agadeem's for 3, and they'd be able to get 3 different things back here. That would be super annoying. Okay. I think we kind of just let them. It's a little unfortunate. They have 2 cards left. Yeah, that's fine. Mostly because all these come into play. We can kill something during their end step, still attack with things. The Tectonic Giant trigger plus the Slaying Fire is still lethal. Yeah, exactly. And then they tap out to do the Agadeem's Awakening, so we're fine. Opponent is more than dead skis. And an Ox, just for sport. Not that we need it. Opponent's tapped out here. I guess we just shoot them. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any, but they're completely tapped. Yeah, let's just... I mean, it's 3, but whatever. I mean, that should do it. We played very patiently, but it worked out. And we'll just attack with the Tectonic Giant. That's all we got to do. Deal 3. Yep, that's it. Alright, opponent is going first, but I think we can keep this one. Can't imagine why we'd really want to pitch this back. I mean, we don't have any long-term threats, so I mean, that's a reason, I suppose. But this is going to let us deal with most stuff pretty well. I'm assuming they're waiting to cast a Bone Crusher. So we'll likely just get stomped in the face here. Yep, there it is. Right on time. It's always nice when you can plan on your opponents doing exactly what you think. Well, we're just going to cultivate here. Well, this sucks. I don't know if this hand beats this draw. There's a good chance they're going to just ultimatum here in a couple turns. And we have a burn heavy-ish hand. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can't quite get there with just 8. It's going to be a much bigger problem. The good news is, though, they do get something like dragons or whatever, we can still Soul Seer and possibly get out of trouble. Yep, they're just setting up for some ultimatum action. Reasonable, though. I think I'm just going to get proactive here. Mark their opponent, kind of knowing what's coming already. Having more efficient use of our mana here. So maybe we can Frostbite something, Soul Seer something. We'll see what happens. Fortunately, we didn't miss a land drop here, but I don't know if it matters. Alright, they just went for a Bone Crusher Giant, so there wasn't a big ultimatum there. Maybe that's not what this deck is about. But if not, I'm wondering why they're playing so many ramp spells. Oh, they got the hand that had all the ramp spells. That's their problem. Huh. Okay. Alright, Stomp a Giant. Or, I guess Frostbite a Giant. And I think we're going to go ahead and Stomp the opponent. I'd like to draw a land here. So we could have our Bone Crusher down plus some backup action, but we'll see. Huh, they have some type of instant there. Wonder if it's just another Bone Crusher Giant. This may not be very good here. Alright, let's see what the opponent's got. Gonna shoot us again for 2? Or not. There it is. Alright, sure. I mean, so far we've done okay. I mean, like, opponent has us out mana severely. And we're still finding ways to navigate things here. Opponent's been steadily holding a pile of cards, so I'm not sure what's really going on there. Saw it coming? Maybe is what's going down here? Nope, they're just going to let their Bone Crusher die? Alright. So confused then. I don't know what's happening. And this is where it gets tough, because you want to at least be able to somewhat have an idea of what your opponent's kind of doing or holding on to with 4 cards, but at the moment, I truly have no idea. I wish that were not the case. I mean, it could be... Oh, that. Well, I guess it's a good thing I have a Soul Seer, huh? Didn't think I was going to be using a Soul Seer on that today. Alright, continuing on. that was a little bit of a surprise. Not gonna lie. Alright, they're gonna Storm's Wrath. Okay. So they're playing a Temur kind of control deck here, and that's what they need the mana for. So we could be staring at something like an Ugin pretty quick if we're not careful. And they could also have another Storm's Wrath that they've been sitting on too. Makes sense though. Once they got below, at 10 or below, you don't really want to take any extra shots from a Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, so they're putting a 2-2 in the way. Is that 2-2 getting anything? Or it's, nope, it's just a straight up 2-2. Alrighty then. Let's try to stomp it. Alright, whatever those other cards are pretty bad. I'm just going to deal the damage here. No reason to get fancy. I mean, we've got burn damage in hand. Oh, they don't even have counters. That's it. They're dead. Oh, that was weird. The last one shot twice. We are keeping this full show. Obviously, need to draw more mana so we can be able to use this Ox, but until then, this hand's actually pretty tight. Actually, well, yeah, we'd rather have a Brash Taunter if we can. Though, if this is Rakdos Sacrifice, like, okay, it's not. It's a Rakdos Control of some sort. Could be like a Mardu control deck, too. But I was just thinking, if they played, like, their Crowan War or something, that could make our life pretty miserable. I do like Dragonfire here in case they have something like Kroxa. We could still target the Kroxa and then it would just go away. We're going to lose our Brash Taunter probably. But I don't know, if they take something like Scorching Fire, I was going to say that would tell us that they have a Kroxa. Okay, they're just scrying here. Being very aggressive. Oh, look, we got a replacement Brash Taunter. That's cute. Not what we're looking for, though, unless we go land off the top. Land next turn for a Tectonic Giant, then a land for a Brash Taunter would be really nice. Is the opponent looking for lands here? That's what we're drawing during their main phase. Don't really want to waste the Slaying Fire. Ugh. Oh, it was bad. Alright. That is all for us. They might be getting ready to hit us with their own Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, this is tough when you get stuck on 3 lands here. I was hoping at that 4th one, the Tectonic Giant would have at least gotten us 3 damage on the opponent. Now we're going to have to get creative, as they say. Though not terribly worried about a Kroxa here because we can just discard the Oxvagonus. I'd be more afraid of like an Emmersturm Predator or something here. That would end up being really hard for us to deal with. Alright, there's a land. This is likely going to die a horrible death, but we're okay with that. We have until our next turn for the card. Yeah, so we could take the 2 cards here with the opponent being at 23. We might do that. Just in the event there's another land. There is a land. There's an Ox too, unfortunately, but that's okay. Alright, well, they didn't want us to have our Brash Taunter pretty badly for some reason. So that must tell us that they don't have a great way to get rid of it. Except for maybe, you know, like I said, maybe they are playing a Crowan War, they can steal it, sacrifice it, something like that. We'll play the one they already know we have. And then I think we'll just go ahead and run this Brash Taunter out. We're obviously not going to play the Ox of Agonis yet, because we still want to empty some of these other cards out of our hand, if possible. At the very least, I want to at least get the Slaying Fire off to deal 4 to the opponent. Then we'll consider what we can do with the Ox. Like, if we just don't get to use the Scorching Dragonfire or the Frostbite, so be it. Though it seems like the opponent's being very careful not to play creatures because we have those and they know we have them. But it is also kind of weird because if they just never play them, then, you know, I guess there goes the Ox. Yep. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. We lost 2 Oxes. Why are you none of those types? I think the only thing we can put counters on with this is our Ox, actually. Man, I would take even a Faceless Haven at this point. Yeah, I mean, I guess we tack. This is terrible, but I mean, I guess this is what we do. This is who we are now. Actually, here's a cute thing. Because you have Animal Sanctuary, it's not a target bird, cat, dog, whatever that you control. It's just that creature type. So if you wanted to make something bigger so you could fight it with the Brash Taunter, that's a real thing you can do. If your opponent's at the right life total, you could turn, say, like a Lovestruck Beast into a 6/6 and then fight it and deal 6. So I kind of like that as a extra plan, because there are a lot of creature types that fit these descriptions. Alright. We'll use this opportunity to shoot a Kroxa. So that'll keep them from getting it in the yard at least. Alright, it'll resolve and we'll just get rid of the mountain. Alright, so Kroxa's exiled. We don't have to worry about that. Alright, opponent goes to draw. Would have been nice if we'd have had the Brash Taunter on tap, though, right? We could have got 6 damage fighting the Kroxa. But we can only be so conservative, I guess. Alright, I'm going to pass. We'll see if maybe they have another. And then we'll get a shot to fight it. That would leave us 4 mana. So, yeah, we wouldn't... That'd be the most. I guess no, that wouldn't do it either. I was thinking we could fight and then Slay and Fire, but that's only 5. They only have 4 cards. They'd have to get a 5th. Well, this will be going away next turn. They would have enough to get it back. So it might be a situation where we'd be tempted to just... Oh, I don't know. This is such a weird scenario. Ugh. That's so bad. Why, deck? Alright, well, until we get another threat, we're kind of just sitting here. I think we're in bad shape. I think the opponent has the advantage here, truthfully. Alright, well, that's the thing they get to do. Unless they misclick, that's a dead taunter. Alright. Now what? Okay, I guess there will be some stage in the game where we will get to use those, I suppose. This is where I'm looking at Nox or something. Or even another Tectonic Giant would be nice. Also have to admit, Crush the Weak isn't the worst thing, right? If we can combine that with the Slaying Fire, you can also exile a Kroxa that way too. Very tempted to just keep a snow-covered mountain in hand, just so we have something to discard to a Kroxa. I mean, this has to eat one of the million kill spells the opponent's holding on to, because we haven't had anything they could kill forever. I mean, remember, the Brash Taunter had Indestructible, so anything that, which is regular spot removal that destroyed, they've probably been sitting on forever. Yep, there's one of them. Not sure how we're going to manufacture a win here. Alright, there is a Solemn. Alright, I guess that's a thing. Why not? I mean, I suppose we could have went after the opponent, put them at 19, force the Solemn to block the Bone Crusher, and they would get the card a little later. So, I mean, that does matter somewhat. It's a non-zero thing. But if they don't produce a blocker and magically don't have a kill spell in hand, our Bone Crusher Giant would be alright, I guess. Now, I would say that's one of those scenarios where if they did have a way to kill their own creature, it's actually worth considering, right? Because if you use it to just target and kill our Bone Crusher Giant, you are going to take 2 damage. So if you just used it to kill your own creature, you're still going to get the card off of it when it dies. And you don't have to take the damage off of my Bone Crusher, and it would be countered on resolution because there's no target. So that's something to consider in those scenarios. I don't necessarily always like that type of play, but something like that seems very good as for the spot you would want it. Might be a little different if you're talking about like a Brazen Borrower's Petty Theft, because you would get to replay your Simulacrum, so you don't necessarily want to kill it. Unless you are desperately just wanting that extra card anyway. Okay, that should be GG's. Let's move along.
Make no mistake.
Alright, we get to go first here. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna just play Burji, unless we draw something else that we need to keep mana up for. So we'll see what happens. Well, we're gonna kill that. I'm a big fan of the Jaspera Sentinel. I know what situations that can lead to. Alright, and they have a Gilded Goose, and probably another Goose. Nope, nothing else to go with Goose. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play Burji. See what the opponent's up to here. They do have access to 4 mana, one of them being non-green if they need it to be so far. Ah, now the story comes together. Oh, what is this? So for each color, right? Yeah, each color among permanents you control gets +1/+1. But you can tap for each color. That is pretty cool. However, I can't really cast anything this turn, so we're going to get wrecked here. The creative deck from the opponent, though. Alright, I guess this is where it gets bad. So, I mean, they can tap for a bajillion mana. Alright, Thassa's Oracle, that was not bad. That could have been a lot worse. Like, the Oracle being the thing they got, we can live with that. That's, I mean, really. Could have been much, much worse. Okay. This, hold on. Oh, because we'd have to tap, yeah. Don't have enough snow-covered mana. Alright, well, let's kill Kennen, because that's the real problem here. That also allows us to play this. And then attack with Burji. And we'll just end the turn. Alright, they do get to look at 4 cards this time. Left 1 on top, 3 on bottom. For 3 more mana, the Corridor Monitor lets you untap a thing. You can tap for more mana, but alright, just make food. Makes sense. Okay. Don't think this is where we play the Ox just yet. But if we play Brash Taunter, we get 1 mana back. That only leaves 2, so that doesn't really get us there. I think it may be in our best interest just to... We attack with Bone Crusher, we only really get to kill 1 thing, right? So we probably have to just kill a Corridor Monitor, which feels so sad. But I think that's all we get to do. Either way, we're costing them something. Either mana, a Corridor Monitor, which is like letting them reuse things. Yeah, so we'll do it in that order. Works for us. And then I don't mind having Burgi actually, so when we use Ox, there's a good chance we could actually cast whatever we draw. Because we'll have an extra mana, or we could actually like Ox and then activate the Brash Taunter. That's a thing. I don't know. There's some choices here. Alright, let's untap. Okay, sure. So they're going to be making a lot of food. We're going to have a lot to work through here, y'all. This is not going to be easy. Okay. Well, dang it. Alright, actually that'll give us some mana back anyway. So it still kind of lets us do what we want to do. Yep, they're going to sack a food. Makes sense. Opponent's deck is wild. I'm not even going to lie. I'm actually kind of intrigued. I feel like they don't have the best version of what they're doing, but I like the concept of what's happening over there. Alright, so this will still leave us 2 mana. We can... This is just when this comes into play, right? So if we want, I mean, I guess we shoot a goose? It still leaves us 2 mana, but we can't really do anything with it. Kind of disappointing. No attacks. I mean, that's not true. I should have attacked with the Brash Taunter, because it's going to be 1 either way, right? Alright. Yep, I was about to say, we're about to go off, because we're going to make the horn. Alright, I gotta give J Double some credit. Like, this was actually a fun deck. It's one of those things, like, it's a true mid-rangey type deck, right? You're sitting there, pick off a couple things, try to land your big efficient creature, pick off a couple things, try to land your next big efficient creature, and then finally come through for the win. So I don't mind that at all. Again, I think the Animal Sanctuary, I'm not really sure if we need it or not. Though, like I pointed out in one of the matchups, like, you can actually use Animal Sanctuary to pump your opponent's thing and then fight it with the Brash Taunter. So it's not a great plan, but it is a plan. You know, it's a thing you can do. So can keep that in mind. But I may just want another Faceless Haven in that spot, just so I have an additional thing to fight with. But I don't know. I think this would be personal preference. I think there's a lot of things that could be, and just gonna be up to you. But if you like the style of deck, go for it. It's a lot of fun. As for today's card spotlight, we're going to talk about an oldie but a goodie in Hatred. And Hatred, like, I have a lot of memories of this card because it was around the time where pretty much every color had something crazy fast. There was like Suicide Black that was playing this. There were Mono Red decks that were trying to just burn you out. You know, there were white decks that were playing the enchantment that, like, a creature got bigger for the number of cards in hand, you know, and shadow creatures so you couldn't block them. I mean, honestly, there was a period of time where you would play full 3-game matches of Magic, and you would spend more time shuffling than you did playing. Like, true story. Like, it was wild. So when people complain about how fast decks are now, it's like, oh man, you got to rewind the clock like 20 years and go take a look. Crazy stuff. But the one thing I will say about Hatred is it's worth a pile of money now. Not something I ever thought would have happened, but here we are. Remember, as always, you can get today's deck list in the description down below. Also, if you're shopping at TCGPlayer or Amazon for anything, remember to use one of the links from the description. That'll help me out, and you'll be helping out the channel. Also, let me give a shout out while I have a second to Cardsphere and to Ultra Pro, two partners of the channel. If you're looking to buy, sell, trade cards, go check out cardsphere.com. And if you just need stuff, deck boxes, sleeves, binders, whatever, pick up some Ultra Pro stuff. We're about to get back out in the world where maybe we're going to get to go to our local stores again soon. Get geared up. And finally, if you haven't, please remember to like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because that lets me know you appreciate what I'm doing and lets you get notified every time I have a video up. And most importantly, whenever the algorithm on YouTube sees activity on my videos, that puts it in front of more people, so you're doing me a big favor. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.